You know, when you're a child, you don't wake up thinking about your face. You don't stand in the mirror analyzing angles, symmetry, or proportions. You don't compare your features to anyone else's. Children don't know they're different. Not until someone tells them. It always starts the same way. A laugh, a point, a comment that wasn't supposed to matter, but somehow does. Look at your ears. Look at your neck. Look at your fingers. Look at your nose. And suddenly you're aware of something you never noticed before. Not because it was a problem, but because someone else decided it should be. That's the moment the brain creates a new category. Oh, this thing about me is noticeable. And once that category exists, it's hard to unsee it. Growing up with siblings is like growing up with your own personal roast squad. They don't have filters, and by law, they don't need them. That's the joke, but it's also the truth. Siblings will point out the one thing about you that stands out: your bow legs, your gap tooth, your big nose, your short neck, your stubby fingers. But here's the difference. When family does it, and it's done in love, it becomes a kind of immunity training. A rehearsal for the outside world, a reminder that you can be teased and still be loved. So when someone at school finally says, "Ha ha, look at your nose," you're already immune. You've heard it before, you've survived it before, you've laughed about it before, but not everyone gets that training. Some people grow up in homes where the teasing isn't love, it's pressure. Where the comments aren't jokes, they're instructions. Where the message isn't "you're unique," it's "you need to change." Change your hair, change your nose, change your skin, change your features to fit Western standards, fit the mold, shrink yourself, blend in. That's not teasing, that's conditioning. And conditioning becomes trauma, because when the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally teach you to conditionally love yourself, that wound goes deep. Some people have thick skin. Some people have sensitive nervous systems. Neither is better. Neither is worse. Both are human. But when someone with a sensitive nervous system is teased about a feature they can't hide, a nose, a hair, texture, a facial structure, the brain interprets it as danger. Not metaphorical danger, literal danger. The same part of the brain that reacts to physical threat reacts to social humiliation. That's why some people grow up and say, "I can't take it anymore. I'm changing my nose." And if that change brings them peace, that peace is valid. But the pressure that pushed them there, that's the problem. That's the wound. That's the story we're telling. Western beauty standards are not universal. They are not natural. They are not objective. They are constructed, marketed, sold, and reinforced through media, cartoons, advertising, and history. For decades, certain features were exaggerated in harmful ways in old cartoons, caricatures, and stereotypes, not because those features were bad, but because society needed a model to compare everything else to. A dog show picks the dog that looks closest to the ideal. Western society did the same thing with human faces, and anyone who didn't match the template was labeled other, different, funny looking, too much. That's not biology. That's bias. A big nose is not just a feature, it's a story, a lineage, a genetic signature, a cultural fingerprint. It appears in countless ethnicities: Mediterranean, African, Middle Eastern, Indigenous, South Asian, Latin American, and more. It is ancient, it is ancestral, it is beautiful. But because it didn't fit the Western template, it became a target. Not because of the nose itself, but because of what it represented. Difference, heritage, identity. And difference scares people who don't know who they are. There's something people don't talk about enough. Beauty standards are not neutral. They don't fall from the sky, they don't come from nature, they come from power. For centuries, Western societies created a narrow template of what a beautiful face should look like. Straight nose, small nose, symmetrical nose. A nose that doesn't interrupt the silhouette, a nose that doesn't tell a story, and anything outside that template became other. Not because the feature was wrong, but because the standard was rigid. Artists drew it, cartoons exaggerated it, advertisers reinforced it, magazines repeated it, Hollywood cast it. And slowly people began to believe it. But here's the truth. Big noses appear in every corner of the world. They are ancient, they are genetic, they are cultural, they are beautiful, they are markers of ancestry, migration, climate, and evolution. A big nose is not a flaw. It's a map. But when society fears difference, it attacks the map. It mocks the feature that tells the story. It tries to erase the evidence of where you come from. That's why nose shaming has such a long history. It's not about the nose. It's about the identity attached to it. And identity is powerful. Identity is threatening. Identity is unforgettable. When someone is teased about a feature they cannot hide, a nose, a hair texture, a skin tone, the brain interprets it as social danger, not metaphorical danger, literal danger. The same part of the brain that reacts to physical threat reacts to humiliation, ridicule, and exclusion. This is called social threat activation. Appearance-based rejection, sensitivity, body image trauma, and it can shape a person's entire life. Some people develop hyper-awareness of their face, avoidance of photos, anxiety in social settings, chronic self-comparison, the urge to fix themselves, the belief that they must change to be loved. This is not vanity. This is survival psychology, and the saddest part, most people don't remember the first comment that hurt them, but their nervous system does. The body remembers. The mirror remembers. The silence remembers. It speaks to the part of the brain that was wounded before it had the language to defend itself. But here's the thing about features that get mocked. They are often the features that carry the most history, the most ancestry, the most character, the most soul. big nose is not a flaw, it is a signature, a seal, a family crest carved into the face. It is the feature that refuses to disappear, the feature that refuses to blend in, the feature that says, I am not here to be small. Your nose is not a mistake, it is a birthright, a gift passed down through generations that survive migration, war, famine, diaspora, colonization, and time. Your nose is proof that your ancestors existed, that they lived, that they loved, that they passed something down to you that the world could not erase. And the world mocks what it cannot erase. But you are done shrinking. You are done apologizing. You are done hiding. This is the moment in the monologue where the music shifts, where the empowerment rises, where the audience feels the flip. This is where you say, my nose is not too big. Your imagination is too small. My nose is not a flaw, it is a story. My nose is not a problem, it is a privilege. This is my birthright, and I'm done letting you shame my inheritance.
A is for ancestry, the story written in the silhouette of my face.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
B is for birthright, the inheritance my ancestors refused to let die.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
C is for courage, the kind you grow when the world tries to shrink you.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
D is for difference, the one thing they mocked because they couldn't copy it.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
E is for evolution, the shape survived climates, continents, and centuries.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
F is for feature, not flaw, not mistake, not apology.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
G is for guys, the way people stare because they've never seen a face with a story.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
H is for heritage, the map of where I come from carved in bone.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
I is for identity, the part of me that refuses to blend in.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows.
J is for journey, from shame to pride, from hiding to honoring.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
K is for knowing, knowing I was never the problem, the standard was.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
L is for lineage, the bloodline that survived everything to give me this face.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
M is for memory, the body remembers the hurt, but it also remembers the healing.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
N is for nose, the feature they tried to shame, the feature I now celebrate.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
O is for originality, the kind you can't buy, can't fake, can't duplicate.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
P is for presence, the the muscle built from years of comments I outgrew.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
S is for silhouette, the profile that tells the truth about who I am.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
T is for truth, beauty was never supposed to be symmetrical.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
U is for unapologetic, the way I carry myself now that I know my worth.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
V is for visibility, I'm done hiding, done shrinking, done dimming.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
W is for worthiness, I was worthy before the world had words for it.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
X is for factor, the thing that makes me unforgettable.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
I is for yes, yes to my face, yes to my features, yes to my story.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase.
Z is for zenith, the highest point of self-acceptance, the peak of my becoming.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they chase. Whoa, 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 whoa,
My nose is my birthright, and it knows. I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face. Heritage is the real threat, that's why they change. You can change hair, skin shape, style, make up the face, but the nose is the letter they can't replace.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows. I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face. Heritage is the real threat, that's why they change.
You can change hair, skin shade, style, make up the face, but the nose is the letter they can't replace. My nose is my birthright, and it knows. I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face. Heritage is the real threat,
That's why they change.
you can change hair, skin shape, style, make up the face, but the nose is the letter they can't replace.
My nose is my birthright, and it knows. I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face. Heritage is the real threat, that's why they change.
You can change hair, skin shade, style, make up the face, but the nose is the letter they can't replace.
My nose is my birthright,
Whoa!
and it knows.
I proudly wear my royal jewel on my face.
Heritage is the real threat, that's why they change.
You can change hair,